welcome to your practice. Let's take a comfortable seat on our mats. If you have your blocks, blanket, and if you have a strap available, we might use a strap. Take a few moments to start by just grounding, seated. When we practice yoga, hatha yoga, one of our tools is the pulse. It's the ability for our muscles to draw in, and then for sort of the body, the bones to stretch back out. And you need these two things, these two qualities. So if you just think in this opening moment, you're just sitting here, the breath is still drawing in and expressing out. Your muscles are just relaxed. They're not doing anything, well, at least not consciously. It feels nice. It feels nice to not do anything. Let's just give ourselves another minute like that. Feel the breath drawing in, expelling out. The body's just relaxing. And now, very simply, draw your muscles in. And what this will do, it will actually make you more upright. So draw your muscles in, you're going to squeeze your back muscles. You're going to draw your shoulders back. It might feel like a little bit like tensing your muscles at first, but it's different when you tone the muscles. It's slow. You lift the crown. You're toning the muscles around your spine. So you're upright. Holding that tone. And then relax. Just by drawing in. And if we drew only our front body muscles in, you ground your body even more. Take a moment, draw all your muscles in equally, and that's going to bring you upright. And now this time you're going to stretch out. So you're going to push up through your crown and down through your tail. And already you're going to have to be more astute, more lively. This moves energy. And then let's go back to doing nothing. Not drawing in, not drawing out, just nothing. Muscles are relaxed. This feels nice. But you get little transformative quality of your body, just like this. One more time, tone your muscles. Squeeze onto your back. Hug your core a little bit. Squeeze the arms in. And reach up through your crown, down through your tail. So it's squeezing in and then reaching out. Feel an active experience. And then relax it all. Good. Let's try that same action. You're going to lay on your backs. We're going to start a little slower today, just so we get this idea of how to tone rather than tense. You're going to lay on your backs and you're going to find the strap. Find your strap. When you find your strap, you're going to loop your strap so you can put your hands through it. And when you put your hands through it, your hands should be about as wide as your shoulders. That's how wide you want your loop. And the first thing is to just lift your arms in the air. We're not toning, we're not extending out, we're just putting our arms in the air. And this, that's fine. But let's add tone. So when we put our arms in the air and we tone, you're going to squeeze the muscles towards the bones. So your elbows will get a lot straighter. When you try to feel your muscles hugging toward the bone, your hands should become a little more active. And now that you've toned, now extend out. So it's like your arms were growing up into the sky like tree trunks. And so we've toned and then we've extended. Tone in, extend out. Breathe here. And then relax. No effort. The pose loses its shape, but there's also no tone and no extending. We do it again. Arms in the air. First is just the basic shape. Now we're going to tone our muscles. Squeeze the muscles into the bone. And once you feel like you've toned, now extend the bones out through the fingertips. Keep that feeling, keep that awareness, and take your arms overhead, nice and slow. Keep the tone. It's the first thing to fatigue. If your tone fatigues before the pose ends, it's because you were tensing, not toning. And then relax. Good, let's try with the leg. What is it like to tone the legs? The first thing is just gonna put your leg in the air. One leg, your right leg. And that's just the leg in the shape. Now you're gonna tone the muscles of your leg, particularly the front. And so you have to pull your toes towards your hip. You have to draw the ankle. You have to pull the muscles on the top of the knee toward the hip. And you can feel the muscles tone towards the bones, towards the torso. Keep that tone and now reach out through the heel of your foot. That's extending. Keep toning and then release. You might cramp a little bit because the muscle's ability to tone and extend is being challenged. Extend, just lift up your left leg, the second side. And now slowly tone. Flex the toes towards the hip. Pull the kneecap so the legs are straight. The top of the quad muscles, the muscles above your knee are toned. Keep that tone. Don't let it go. And now extend out through the heel. Tone and extend. And then release. Good. So if we don't tone and we don't extend, we just have this very bland, vague pose. Let's go ahead. Let's start to bring this into action now. Go ahead and roll around all the way back to your tabletop pose. Get our class going a little bit now. We've got the basic concepts of toning. So there's the basic shape, tabletop. You just rock about a little bit, even sometimes just, you don't have to always do this. We can really get a lot of healing, a lot of rejuvenation to our body when we do. So to tone, you're gonna push down through your finger pads, your heel pads, and squeeze your muscles of your arms and squeeze your shoulder blades towards your spine. This is toning. Just hold that feeling, open your throat and breathe here. Stay toned. Did you start to loosen up on your arms? Bend those elbows? That's okay. Good. Let's sit back, rest your hips in child's pose. Breathe here. Notice how the breath is always doing this. Drawing in, expelling out. A few more. The breath is the teacher, teaching us how to tone and extend. Good. Come back to tabletop and tone your muscles. Squeeze the muscles, not tense. Tone. And this time let's push back downward facing dog pose. Focus on the arms drawing into the body. And now focus on the front of the legs, drawing into the hips. This is toning. Once we've toned our muscles, now start to push out from our heart through our hands, from our hips through our heels. It's the balance of toning and extending. Now, some muscles will tone better and some will extend better. Finding balance is learning to become conscious of that imbalance. Good. Come on down to our knees. Bring yourself forward and lower onto your belly. Let's do a couple cobra poses here. Tone the legs and then lift your spine. Just feel how by lifting into the spine, you're toning the back body. Drawing the muscles in. And go ahead and relax again. Let's do it a couple times. Just listen, really focus on the body, noticing the muscles that are toning inward to make the shape of the pose. Last one. Good, now squeeze the shoulders so much, tone so much that your arms can float off the ground. And squeeze your arms into each other, into your sides like this. Breathing. Now reach out through your crown, reach out through your fingertips like you're flying, still toning and extending. Good, let's relax, turn our head to the side. Now, the nice thing about working a little harder in these poses is that we get a longer rest. So you got to really show up when it's time to tone. And now you just become completely passive. And there's a duality of tone and extend, but you also now get a duality of effort and rest. And there's a benefit to having balance. The balance of effort and rest is when we tone properly, we welcome in a ton of fresh blood when we move back to resting. Let's try it again. Hands under the shoulders. Tone your back muscles. Tone the back of the legs and the quads, fronts of the legs. Squeeze your shoulders to lift your hands. And we've toned. Now, extend out through your crown, out through your arms. Keep toning, keep hugging, but do it with the extending. Breathing. Stay with me. And rest your head to the side again. And you can actually feel the blood moves to the area that you contracted. You may actually really feel it. You can feel the pulsing of the blood moving. If you can't, you just believe me. Which isn't the wisest thing. I do make stuff up. but I'm not making this up. Good, go ahead, place your hands under your shoulders and let's press on back to our tabletop pose. In our tabletop pose, tone your arms, tuck your toes, squeeze your legs in, so you're toning the legs and the arms. Tone your belly muscles a little bit. Breathe here. A hug of alertness. Stay present. Good. Keep toning. And now stretch out. Open your chest. Open your throat. Sink your ribs. You're extending your ribs down. Breathe. You should have a really nice back bend. And it should be very safe because you're toned. And relax the pose. We'll sit the hips back, rest. You can tone. When you tone a muscle, it draws in. And you can extend. We can extend in all different directions. Right there, we extended our ribs down to create the stretch. This time we're going to extend our ribs up to create the stretch. So let's come back to our tabletop. Find the basic shape. And once again, tone the muscles. Elbows engaged, tuck the toes, gently hug the legs in, squeeze the arms in. This is how you can feel the tone, the warmth of blood. And now when we extend, you're gonna push your hands down and move the ribs up. That's the extending. Down through your hands, up. And you have to tone, keep the tone while you do it. Good. The toes are tucked, tuck them and push back, downward facing dog. Walk to a forward fold at the front of your mat. Let's do a passive forward fold, right? No toning, no extending, just basic shape of the pose has some effects. Just the basic shape. You can feel it in your hamstrings, your back probably. You just take that in. You don't have to always do tone and extend. All right, inhale, come all the way up, stretch up to the sky. Let's try those forward folds with our new, or the thing we're emphasizing today. Let's bow forward again, put the hands on the blocks. And to tone the legs, you're gonna push down through the balls of the foot, the heel of the foot, and lift your toes. Lifting your toes and lift your kneecaps. When you lift, you also squeeze like you're trying to wrinkle your mat by squeezing your legs towards each other. Squeezing inward, breathing. Breathing and squeezing here. Keep engaging those leg muscles. Now squeeze your belly muscles in and let your head hang. That's the extending. Letting your head hang. Keeping the tone of the legs, tone of the core. You should get a deeper bend by doing this. Keep your legs, inhale, come all the way up. Keep toning the legs, keep toning the legs. And relax, hands to your heart. Good, so you get a very active practice by moving slowly when you stretch like this. Inhale, stretch your arms to the sky. Let's try it again. You're gonna put your hands on a coffee table, on a wall, or perch them on blocks. So now we're gonna do the flat back variation of the pose. Okay, so you tone your arms and your legs. Lift your toes, straighten your elbows. Squeeze your legs towards each other without moving them. Lift your kneecap up towards your hips. Now squeeze your shoulder blades onto your back. Great, you've got toned muscles. Now extend your crown forward. Extend your tail back and breathe in flat back pose. Toning and extending. And relax. Inhale, come all the way up. Hands by your sides. Good work. So it's looking pretty good. I think we want to just, if you don't mind, I think we did this last week, but just to reiterate the toning sensation of, so you're lifting your legs, but toning the legs in is challenging. You're gonna take the block, you're gonna put it between your thighs, and you're gonna squeeze the block. When you squeeze the block, you tone the muscles of the inner leg. So let's practice that, squeezing the block and lifting your toes. You're standing still, right? But there's a lot of heat. Toning makes heat. You're putting the body under pressure, toning of the muscles. So keep that tone and now start to bow forward. Maybe you find those blocks again, or a table ledge, or the floor. You gotta keep the tone in your legs. Keep breathing. Push down on the block, squeeze your arms, and flat back. We extend our crown into flat back pose. Good, excellent work. Don't lose the tone. If you lose the tone, it's because you were tensing, not toning. Good, keep tone, press down through your legs, extending down to come all the way up, stretch up, and relax. Very good. Let's do our warrior one with this work now. You're doing excellent. Right foot in front, left foot back. Right foot in front, left foot back, yeah. Good, plant your back foot down, heel down. To tone, we're gonna lift our back toes. You can lift the front toes too. And you want to feel that back leg drawing in. It's drawing into the hip, and your legs are squeezing towards each other. Almost like you're trying to pull your front heel back. That'll tone the hamstring of your front leg. You're squeezing, you're trying to shrink your mat. Yeah, good, that's active. Let's just work on the legs. Keep that. And now keep that tone, and now push from your hips out through your front knee and down through your back foot. And you're not going to move, but you're going to feel a whole lot of posture happening because you toned and then you extended into that tone. Excellent. One more deep breath, full stretch into the legs of the pose. Good, step out. All right, just give me a thumbs up if you're following. It looks like y'all are doing it, but I just want to make sure you're definitely feeling this. These poses are active, even though we're moving slow. Right leg back, let's try it again. Remember, we're learning how to tone, not tense. Back foot's got to be down. And now we're going to try to first lift our toes. Balls of the feet are down. And now drink. You're drinking energy into the hips from your legs. That's the lifting of the back kneecap. And then you're also going to try to scrunch your feet towards each other. That's going to activate, at least the hamstring of your front leg. Trying to pull your feet towards each other. You can feel the tone of the legs. Now, once you've got that, push back out against it. Don't lose it. Stretch into it. Pushing out through the front knee, down through the back foot. Breathe, very good. And step out of your pose. Excellent. Warms the body. Let's do one more warrior one with the arms involved. So we're going to go briefly through the legs and then into the arms. You just try to feel it this time. You don't have to get as technical, as detailed with the legs. Just tone in. And once you feel like the body sort of absorbed that consciousness, then you stretch out. And the stretch out today, you're going to stretch your arms up and out, your crown up and out with your legs. Now tone your arms into the bones of the arms and stretch out again. Good. Full celebration of warrior one. Step out of your posture. Good work. All right, so now the organic expression of this energy, right? Step the right foot back. We're going to just feel this toning in, this hugging in of the muscles to the bones and sort of drawing into the center, drawing into the core. Just let that all sort of keep happening very naturally, very steadily. It'll turn your hips, it'll tone your knee. And once you've got that, you're going to start to then push out against that and away from that in all directions. Arms out, crown up, legs down and out. Now tone the arms again, squeeze those shoulders, tone the elbow, and then stretch against that, opening up into the fullness of that warrior one. Good. Step out of your posture. Nice work. Let's go ahead and elaborate this into our pyramid pose today. You might want to use the blocks side by side. You're going to put the, I don't remember which goes first, but we'll just do our left foot back, right foot in front. Now you get to, now this one's a little easier because you just lift your toes and tone your kneecaps into both hips. The kneecap draws up, not back, into the hip. So even though your toes are lifting, you should feel the sole of the foot pressing down. That's the effects of toning. All right, now squeeze your shoulders onto your back and bow forward. Keep those shoulders squeezing on your back as you bow. Nice and slow, free hands. And at some point, you're going to let your arms hang and find the blocks. Good. The high setting, please. Keep squeezing your shoulders onto your back. Tone your elbows. Try to straighten them. Yes, good. Now we're going to do a flat back version of the pose today. So you've toned, and now stretch your crown forward or your chin. Push your ribs down and forward. Push your tail back and push down and out through your heels. So we're extending now after we've toned. Breathe. Tone your core and extend your arms out like airplane wings. Tone your core and extend your elbows, your arms out. Keep breathing here, friend. You can do it. Keep toning in and pushing out through your legs. Come all the way up. And step out of your pose. Very nice. Relax a second. I promised you that for the effort, you have to balance it with rest. So just relax. No effort. Now you can feel pulsing. I can feel the pulse in my hands right now. Fresh blood circulating. I know I'm giving a lot of details today. It feels like it's too many. Just forget them and breathe. Second side, right foot back, both feet are flat. We're going to do pyramid pose, so both legs are straight. With both legs straight, tone. Lift the toes, draw the kneecaps up, hug everything in. Once you've hugged in, include your shoulder blades, hugged in. And now hinge at the hips. This is actually a hugging in as well. You're hugging in at the hip flexors. Until your hands can find something to perch on. Now tone the arms. Make sure the legs are still toned. And now once we've toned evenly, extend your crown forward, your chest down and forward. Push your hands down, push your tail back, and then down through your heels. This is extending against the tone. Breathe in that effort. Squeeze the belly muscles in. And stretch out your wings like an airplane. Extend down through your legs to come up. And step out of your pose. Rests to counter the effort. Feel the heartbeat, moving fresh blood. Good work. Let's take some of these efforts into our balancing pose. We're going back to standing postures. Let's just throw in a little bit of balancing. So if you're going to use the wall today, please go find your wall. Let's start with tree pose. So the right foot up against the thigh or calf. And we're going to tone today. We're going to make it extra challenging. We're going to lift our toes in our balancing pose. So we can lift our kneecap. And we're going to squeeze our leg and our foot against each other. That's toning, right? We're toning into the middle, the midline. And with our arms, we're going to do the same thing. Put one arm against your body, one arm against your knee, or against the wall. And if your hand's on the wall, you're going to push down on the wall to tone in. Okay, so I'm going to push down on my knee to tone in. That's going to tone my arms and squeeze the shoulder blades. Good. Breathing. Now, once we've squeezed in, you can squeeze your butt muscles as well. Yeah. Now you're going to extend up through your crown and chest, down through your tail and heel. You're extending against the tone. Find the balance of effort here. Soon we'll rest. Learn how to find balance of tone and extend inside your effort, inside your attention. And release. Good, so we're establishing all these ideas, all these things to think about. And then as the pose progresses, you want to sort of feel when our mind forgets. It forgets, it checks out. Like, oh yeah, I stopped toning. I checked out of that part of the instruction. Second side, left foot up. If the left foot's in tree, let's use the wall with the left hand, or the bent knee faces the wall. That'll help you either tone by pushing on and down on the wall or down on the knee. The right hand will push against the right thigh. All right, tone the legs, lift the right kneecap, squeeze the legs against each other. Squeeze the arms, squeeze the shoulder blades. Squeeze the glute muscles, the butt. And now extend against your tone. Pushing up through your crown. Pushing down through your tail and heel. Breathe. The breath reminds you to tone and extend. And relax. Very good. Very good. Let's just do a very more standard one. So you're gonna probably face the wall. Face the wall. Yeah, I like that. You're gonna face the wall. And if you're not going to use the wall, you're just gonna hold the knee with both hands. Okay. And if you are going to use the wall, you're going to hold the knee, right knee with the right hand, and your left hand touches the wall. Okay. So the wall, folks, you push against the wall and then down to create tone. Knee, folks, you pull the knee so it draws your shoulders towards your spine. Flex your toes. Good. Tone your elbows. And don't forget about your standing leg. I should have said that first, but I was talking about the wall. Flex your toes and lift the left kneecap. Squeeze your butt muscles. Good, now extend outward. Push your knee against your hands. That's the most important piece. Push your crown and chest into the sky. Push your tail down through your left heel. Extend against the tone. And breathe. Breathing reminds you to do both. And relax. Good, just rest a moment. You're doing great. I know these are long holds, but if you're engaging them, you should be getting more out of this practice. These are not passive long stretches. However, you should also not shouldn't be getting really fatigued. Becoming fatigued is a sign that you're tensing instead of toning. All right, second side. Hold the knee or right hand on the wall. And first step, we've got the basic shape of the pose. Now, second step is to tone in. So tone the standing leg. Squeeze the knee by pulling the arms into the shoulders. Shoulders into the spine. Good. Keep breathing. Flex your left toes. And now start to extend against the pose. Push the knee back into the hands. Push the crown and chest up. Push the pelvis down through the heel. Almost caused me to lose my pose there. Breathe. And release. Very good. Let's just bow forward a moment. Let's hang, do nothing, no active. This is a passive pose, rest pose. Let's go ahead and step back. Or plank pose. Tone your arms, tone your legs in plank pose. We don't realize that we're almost always actively extending in plank just in order to keep ourselves up. So you can just check, yeah, look, I am extending already in plank. Tone your core, tone your arms. Good, let's come down to our knees, keep holding the pose. Walk those knees back some if they're not already. And let's lower down onto our belly. Good, go ahead and grab yourself a block and let's put it out in front of us. Squeezing the block. If you have two blocks, you're going to take two blocks and you're going to put them together so it's like the widest distance apart. And you're going to hold those edges. So you're actually having to squeeze the blocks together to do this next exercise. Begin to tone your muscles. Tone your arms by squeezing the blocks and engaging the elbow. And pull the arms into the shoulder socket, right? So the shoulders move to the spine. Keep squeezing in and then lift your arms up. Lifting is extending. Extend against the tone, not instead of tone. Hold the pose, keep breathing. And relax. Rest. Tone. And draw in with the arms and shoulders. Squeezing the blocks is toning. Straightening your elbows is toning. Pulling the shoulders into your spine is toning. Keep that nice and steady. And now lift, extend against the tone. And relax. Good. Bend your knees so your toes are in the sky. And gently pull your toes towards your butt. You can feel the muscles of your back legs toning. Don't overdo this. This is like how to cramp 101. Don't cramp, just feel the toning of your back leg muscles. Very important to tone but not cramp here. You gotta be very sensitive and aware. Good, now find that, stay there, squeeze the blocks, tone your arms. And now lift the blocks, lift your knees off the ground. Breathe. Keep toning. Push out through your knees, out through your blocks without losing the tone. And release. Rest. Place your hands under your shoulders. Come up, and let's push back downward facing dog. Tone, and then extend into the pose. Tone the legs, and extend into the pose. Tone the arms, and extend into the pose. Good. Walk it forward and come up. Go ahead and find your strap. Now, some of you are going to be able to bind your hands and lace your fingers. If you can make your elbows perfectly straight, and keep your palms together, you don't need a strap. But I can't. If I want to get my palms together, my elbows are bent. If I want to make my elbow straight, my hands are separated. I'm going to use a strap so I can simulate the same feeling. I can straighten my elbows and I can squeeze my hands, right? Because I'm squeezing the strap. So you find the distance you need for your strap, or again, you don't have to. Okay, so first, a little bit wider is better. Fingernails point forward, and we tone our arms all the way up the back of our arm into our shoulder. Let's just take a moment to feel that tone happening. Drawing from the back of the elbow up into the shoulder. This is the most important part. Fully tone the triceps. Now, extend by reaching your hands back. Good. Keep that, keep reaching back. Now tone your legs and tone your core. Keep that, and now bow. Don't lose the tone. Inhale back up. And relax. Let's try the same pose with a nice wide-legged variation to our stance. So wide-legged. Put all the pieces together we've been working on all class. Lift the toes, lift the kneecap, and you try to wrinkle your mat together to tone your inner thighs. It's hard here with the wide-legged. Tone your inner thighs. Now grab your strap, squeeze it. Lift the elbow by pulling the elbow towards the shoulder in the back. That tones the triceps. Keep the legs active, squeeze your core in. Okay, we've toned. Keep your tone and start to extend by pulling the arms back and lifting your crown up. Keep toning. And now tone your hip flexors. So you're going to start to bow forward. Everything else stays. And extend out through your crown, down through your heel. You can feel when the muscles start to check out. Stay in the engagement. Muscular engagement. Inhale, come back up. And release. Good work. From here, let's go to side angle pose. Go ahead and turn your right foot out 90 degrees. Bend the knee over the heel. Tone your leg muscles. Draw into the corners of the center of the hips. Draw into the midline. And now extend out through your front knee, down through your back heel. You're going to place your right elbow on your right thigh. Keep the legs active, toning and extending. Drop your left hand and slide it forward and up. Side angle pose, you got it. Keep the legs toned. Now we've got the basic upper body. Squeeze your shoulder blades onto your back. Extend out through your fingertips. Keep squeezing onto your back. Extend that top elbow, Kathy. Point it more. There, exactly. Stay with the pose, friends. Toning and extending. Push down. That's extending out through your legs to come up. Let's go right into triangle pose. Straighten your front leg. Retone your muscles. Tone the muscles. Hinge. It's toning that front hip. Squeeze into the core of the hips. Tone your arms. Squeeze your shoulders onto your back. Squeeze your shoulder blades onto your back. And now stretch out through your fingertips. Out through the soles of your feet. Extending against the tone. Push out through the feet to come up. Let's take a moment of rest. Do the second side soon. Just feel the body as it releases the tension built from the pattern of the pose. All right, second side. Wide-legged stance. We have to tone, we get the basic shape, which is a warrior two legs. And then we tone. Drawing the legs into the hips, into the midline. Engaging the muscles. Perch your left elbow on the thigh. Swoop the right arm under and up. Tone your shoulder blades against the spine. Keep toning the legs. Don't forget them. Toning the shoulder blades. Now we've got an evenness of tone. Stretch out through your fingertips. Stretch out through your front heel. Back heel, front knee. Breathe. You can think of it as that you're spreading your consciousness uniformly into the posture. Correct. Extend out through the legs. Come up. Extend your front leg straight. Let's go right into it. Retone your legs, friends. Bring energy up into the hips. Even hinge, tone that front hip flexor. With the arms in the basic form, tone your shoulder blades toward the spine. With the shoulder blades toning toward the spine. Extend from your heart out through your fingertips. From the core of your pelvis, extend down through your feet. Breathe to remind yourself that breathing tones and extends, always in balance. Inhale, come up. And step out of your posture. Very good. Last standing pose, my favorite peak pose always, mountain pose. So you can choose any distance. You can put the block between your thighs or actually bring the legs together. Palms against the thighs. And be the most gentle, yet the most attentive you've been all class to the toning of your muscles. Starting from the out and working in. So the hands and feet engage. The knees and elbows, the muscles around them tone. The hips tone, that means squeeze your butt. The shoulders tone, that means against your spine. The core draws in. So we've toned our muscles uniformly, evenly. And now we extend from our spine down through our feet, up through our crown. Extend down through your fingertips in a perfect balance of tone and extension. Breathe. Listen deeply now, beyond the words I've said. Just feel in your own body the meaning of these two lessons, tone and extend. How does your body develop new meaning to those words, unique to your own body experience? And relax. Good job. Let's slowly come down to kneeling. Kneeling, let's sit on a block or two between our heels. Let's take a moment to just be quiet now and remember the breath is doing this lesson even when our muscles and bones aren't. Just relax your body right now. Let the breath keep practicing today's lesson. The body just sits passively. Perhaps you can feel a coolness come back over the body as you start to relax it. Stay with this practice. We're going to come forward, tuck your toes. So we had our toes pointed, at least I think we did. Now you're going to tuck the toes so you're on the pads of your toes. You can feel a stretch in the top of your foot a little more when you do it this way. And we'll do the same thing. We'll sit back sit on the heels, or you sit on a block between the heels. So you should feel a stretch in the top of the sole of your foot a little bit doing this variation. But then everything else is the same. Become passive and relaxed. And let's come out of that pose again. Go ahead and bring our right knee forward and our left leg back into pigeon posture. Bring the right foot across the body a little bit. Down your forearms. We're going to be very passive in this pigeon today, but you don't physically tone your muscles of this today in pigeon. Just feel, just almost trace with your mind where the toning would be. So very passive. You'll still actually get some benefit of toning in, hugging the muscles without physically doing it. It's like you're sort of building a mental map of your anatomy. This can be a very powerful teaching. We can start to learn about our own biomechanics, just feeling how our muscles and bones are woven together. Transition and change sides. Mentally tone, which means just become aware. See how the body would tone if it was an active pose. Still sometimes get some residual benefit this way. Go ahead, roll to your side, swing your legs to the front of your mat and lie on your back. We will today, if you don't mind, put blocks under the heels of your feet for bridge pose, because we're going to use the toning again in bridge pose. You're going to push your heels into the blocks and try to pull the blocks towards your butt. When you do this, this will tone the backs of the legs and your butt muscles. So push your heels into the blocks. Lift your hips up by toning the backs of your legs. Breathe here, extending out through the front of the pelvis. And lower down. Go ahead and twist your right leg all the way to the left. And twist your left leg all the way to the right. You come back to center. Take a moment to use those blocks, and you're going to put them on their low setting under your knee or just above your knee, right at the base of your thigh. And then let your feet kind of turn open. This should let your leg bones kind of anchor into your hip joints a little more. Should feel nice and relaxing on your legs. If it's anything other than very restful and comfortable, don't do it. Putting the blocks on their low setting under the knees or just above the knee at the base of the thigh. Take a final moment to scoot the shoulder blades into the spine, even gently squeeze them into the spine. And then slowly just relax from there so they separate a little bit. Rest your body. The more you can relax your muscles, the greater you'll be able to tone them. Truly try to relax the tension. Sometimes we hold tension in our muscles and body just because of what we think about. Try to relax the tension in your muscles.
stretch. You can press up to a comfortable seat. Namaste.